and we're back again. So that's why they put the child behind the grocery store. So anyway, he grows up with his adoptive family. Is very good to him. He loves them. They love him. But he gets to find out what had really happened to him and what had happened to his family while Satan was in his body. He saw the killing of the 8-year-old children, male and female. He saw different things go on. And he felt for the rest of his life in his body that this is what was destined for him to live through. Go into meetings and dealings and corruptness, and there was other things that he saw too, like certain politicians, and not just politicians, but just extremely wealthy people that none of us have ever heard of. Like we don't even know their name.
Yeah.
They have like millions and billions of dollars, and they don't ever have to work. They don't ever have to do anything. They've traveled all over the world. They've seen everything of interest, and the only thing left that they have are their own perversions. So I guess there's a little saying, what does it say? Money perverts people or something? Or corrupts?
Money is the root of all evil.
Money is the root of all evil. And I guess that is the truth, because these people that are not well known, they're not famous, do mix with people that are well known and are famous, because your politicians go to these people that we have never even heard of to get money to fund their campaigns, to get them in places of power that they are in today. And the reason they do that is because they have their own interests as far as laws go. No matter how much money they have, they're always wanting to save an extra buck. So I don't know how many of you know what a lobbyist is, but I used to work for a company, and we would send lobbyists into Washington, D.C. to get what we wanted. And that's what I did. I did that when I was 18. I was in Washington a lot. I used to work with, I worked with Senator Bill Bradley. I did. The basketball player. I worked with him. I worked with a lot of well-known people. But I would gather lobbyists and negotiate with them on pricing, because you pay a lobbyist to go into Washington, to sit down with a politician. And it's basically, going to Washington, D.C. is like going to an auction. You will have a Republican lobbyist, an independent lobbyist, and a Democratic lobbyist. And they will approach the politician, the Republican or the independent or the Democrat, and whatever lobbyist is offering the most money is who wins. So basically, let's say I send a lobbyist from Pfizer pharmaceutical company to talk to Republican such and such, and there's like 20 other lobbyists there. If I offer him the best money and the better deal, they're going to take my money and they're going to pass the laws that I want them to pass. This is really how government works. I don't really get a chance to explain this all to people. People just think that they're elected and that's it. That's not really how it works. Lobbyists and money is really what controls the world. If you have money, you have power. If you have power, you have what you want. So what's going on in the early stages of his body being inhabited by Satan is he is changing the world. He is getting what he wants done. What he's doing is he's setting up his chessboard. Mm-hmm. He's setting up his chessboard to be able to rule the world and to do what he wants to do, to make the moves he needs to make, to place in people's minds the things that he wants done, and to get them to do it. He's his own little lobbyist with supernatural power, is what he is. So, however, like I said before though, Satan doesn't know all of the future. So, over in, I gotta look in the file here. Okay, got it. Over in Ghana, for real, over in Ghana, you would think I might say London or New York or something. No, over in Ghana, there was a man. He was about 20, he was about his age, about 23 years old, 23, 24 years old. He was about to make a move on that chessboard that Satan did not want to happen. From all all the way across the other side of the world. And he had to stop what he was doing, and he had to appear in a different light. Now, I never said he changed his appearance from the time he took on this guy's body. He always had his body. But he could not go to Ghana looking like this guy did. This was something he had to infiltrate and look a certain way to do. So he left his body briefly. The ring, and would you mind holding that up for him and letting him see the inside of it? The ring had burned into his flesh.
Oh, that's what that black is.
Yes. Well, sterling silver does oxidize, but the ring was burned into his little finger in his left hand. But when he left his body, he knew that he did because he could speak, he could talk, he could see differently, and he took the ring off. With the taking off of the ring, he could no longer possess his body. He couldn't come back in. And with that being done, he went and saw another guy that he knew before this all happened, that he knew him from work. And he used to tell him about how he was into the supernatural and that there was things all around all the time and he had to have all this protection, and he used to wear this talisman and stuff. And he thought it was the only person he knew maybe he could go to, and he went to him, and he didn't tell him the story, but he just said that he had a demon after him and felt that his life was in danger, and what could he do? And he told him, I have to look it up because I wrote it down. Hold on. Oh my God, where did I put it? Oh. He told him that what he would give him was something called the Mind of Stars. And the Mind of Stars is where your mind connects not just to celestial spirits, but to celestial intelligences. And what they do is it keeps out infinite evil away from you. Infinite evil away from you. This can be performed as a ritual or created during the ritual as a physical energy that you can actually see and touch. An energy that you can touch. It's a very rare magic. I mean, this guy was like really into it. That's all he did other than when he was working over at the factory end of the place. The guy got to know him like on a smoke break. That's how I got to know him, just through work. And he said, no one's ever been interested in what I do before. If you want, I can show you how to do it. And he goes, listen, I need you to show me now. Like now. Like not when you're done work, now. And he goes, okay, man, I will. He knows. He's like, okay, man, I will. He went back to his apartment and he cut his arm open on the top of his arm. The top of his arm. And he spilled blood around his kitchen floor because he could mop it up. I'm being honest. He didn't want it on the rug. So he does a circle on the kitchen floor with his blood, just a few drops here and there, but to create a circle. And he said the strangest things in that circle. And when he looked at his hands, he started to see what looked like flickering of light. Or like, did you ever have like static cling on your socks or something, and the lights are off and you can see the sparks?
Yeah.
It looked like that. And then what happened is from there, it turned into this physical thing that looked like silly putty. You know what silly putty is? It's kind of a rubbery thing.
Oh yeah.
But it was more liquidy. It was more liquid than that. And he's moving around in his hand, and it's barely touching his palms, and he's moving it. And he said to him, he goes, and give me that necklace over there, which is this, which is this one right here. Because I got that little piece too. Well, this is actually the second one. He had it made for his girlfriend, but they're no longer together. I'll show it to you later. And he goes, I'm going to wrap this around the piece, and forever no demon can ever come near you. And he goes, listen, I'm not talking about a demon. I'm talking about Satan himself. He goes, that's what Satan is. He goes, all demons are fallen angels. Satan is just a fallen angel. He's the baddest ass of the bunch, but he's still not going to be able to get near you. So he had the piece made for him. He still has it today. And he had the piece there that was for his girlfriend, and she didn't need it anymore, and she like threw it at him when they broke up or whatever, and that's how I got that one. But once you wore the protection for 10 days, you didn't even need to wear it anymore anyway. Like, not for the rest of your life can anything come in you and take over. So as he got to know him, we'll be right back.